burns everything. Almost sent the email. Didn't. The draft sat in the outbox for the better part of an hour. The version of me that burns things had reached the peak of its power. Had written the whole case, had the logic clean and sharp, had every grievance listed, every argument and every part of the document accurate. The pressure peaked in the draft was ready and the cursor hovered. That was the war within craft at its most precise. The version that burns things had the pen. The draft I almost sent. The war within again. I used to send the draft and face the cost of the burning after the draft I almost sent. The pause before the disaster. The draft I almost sent is still sitting in the deleted. The draft I almost sent is the war we've been defeated. In the moment that it mattered, by the pause and the review, the draft I almost sent, the better version came through. Didn't send, didn't burn. The draft I almost sent, that's the war within's turn. That's the war within's turn. Read it in the morning when the pressure had receded. Found the logic was all still there, but the sending wasn't needed. Found the case was accurate, but the timing was the fire. Found the version that burns things is a short-term burning higher. That leaves the long-term structure damaged at the seams. The draft I almost sent is the one within's extreme. Pressure test the version that burns things, asking for the flaw. The draft I almost sent, the pause is what it's for. I used to send the draft and face the cost of the burning after the draft I almost sent. The pause before the disaster. The draft I almost sent is still sitting in the deleted. The draft I almost sent is the war within defeated. In the moment that it mattered, by the pause and the review, the draft I almost sent, the better version came through. Didn't send, didn't burn. The draft I almost sent, that's the war within's turn. That's the war within's turn. Draft almost sent, didn't better version 1. The negotiator shows up every morning with a counter offer. I stopped taking meetings. The negotiator has an offer every day without exception. A slightly lower standard wrapped in reasonable reception. Just today, just a session, just a smaller version of the plan. Just a modified agreement with a temporary span on the reduction. Says we'll return to full tomorrow. Just today the discipline can be borrowed. Against the harder week ahead, the negotiator has a gift. For timing always shows up when the war within hits shift. I used to take the meeting with the negotiator every time. Stopped taking meetings. The negotiator lost his climb. The negotiator comes with a counter offer daily. The negotiator's case is built completely and not freely. But I stopped taking meetings before the argument wanna do it in the moment, in the map where the decision hasn't been made yet. In the open space of the morning's first 5 minutes, the negotiator's place is in that window. And if I move before the window opens, the negotiator never gets the floor, the deal is broken. Before it's offered, action preempts the entire meeting. The negotiator, that's the war within's competing. I used to take the meeting with the negotiator every time. Stopped taking meetings, the negotiator lost its climb. The negotiator calls with a counter offer daily. The negotiator's case is built completely and not freely. But I stopped taking meetings before the argument begins. The negotiator loses when the action starts. The discipline wins. No meeting, no counter offer. The negotiator, no time for. No time for. Negotiator, stop taking meetings, action wins. Two versions standing in the same mirror. Only one gets to run the day. One version shows up early, wanting nothing but the work. One version hits the snooze and finds a reason in the murk of the morning to delay the thing the other one had planned. One builds the future carefully with a deliberate hand. One burns the future casually for the comfort other than now. One knows exactly what is at stake and exactly how. The choice this morning compounds into the year ahead. Two versions in the mirror, only one gets fed. I used to let the morning decide which version ran the day. Two versions in the mirror, I choose who gets to stay. Two versions in the mirror, every single morning story. Two versions in the mirror, one builds and one falls apart. The one I feed is the one that shows up in the work. Two versions in the mirror, the other one can lurk, but it doesn't get the floor. Two versions in the mirror, I choose who walks through the door. The second version isn't evil, isn't wrong to have inside. It's the human part that wants the rest, wants the easy ride. The version that is tired and real and needs the occasional slow. But if the second version runs a day, the first one doesn't grow into the thing it's building towards. So every morning is a forecast in the first 5 minutes of the day against the antidote of staying still. Two versions, one choice, one chair at the head. Two versions in the mirror, I choose who gets fed. I used to let the morning decide which version ran the day. Two versions in the mirror, I choose who gets to stay. Two versions in the mirror, every single morning start. Two versions in the mirror, one builds and one falls apart. moving the patterns that I thought I moved the farthest. From the old response, the old reaction, the old reach for the thing I used to do before the new one came to teach me different. Old me is patient, old me knows exactly when the new discipline is weakest and comes looking for the pen to sign off on the old behavior, dressed in new excuse. So me keep showing up, and that's the war within the trust. I used to think the old me was completely dealt and done. Old me keeps showing up, and the war within has just begun. Old me keeps showing up at the door I thought I'd sealed. Old me keeps showing up with the old familiar deal, the old comfort and the old routine, and the old way through. Old me keeps showing up, and every time I'm choosing no. A villain, the old me was survival at a point that's past, but old me missed the arrival notice for the new version taking over the address. Old me is just the previous tenant under duress of addiction, keeps trying to lock, keeps testing if the key still works. It doesn't, but old me keeps showing up to see every time the new discipline has a moment of fatigue. Old me keeps showing up to negotiate the lead. I used to think the old me was completely dealt and done. Old me keeps showing up, and the war within has just begun. Old me keeps showing up at the door I thought I'd sealed. Old me keeps showing up with the old familiar deal, the old comfort and the old routine, and the old way through. Old me keeps showing up, and every time I'm choosing no. The enemy that looks like rest, the war within that feels like pain. The comfortable enemy doesn't announce itself as enemy, comes in wearing the language of the self-care, and the remedy for the accumulated work says listen to your body, says you've earned this, says the rest is not somebody else's idea. It's the wisdom of the earned reward, but the comfortable enemy keeps moving the reward further from the actual earning, keeps saying not yet done. The comfortable enemy is the war within's most comfortable gun. I used to let the comfortable enemy run the whole debate. The comfortable enemy is the war with its favorite trait. The comfortable enemy feels like rest, but runs like retreat. The comfortable enemy makes the quitting feel complete, and reasonable and wise and self-aware and due. The comfortable enemy is the hardest war within to see through. Looks like care, runs like defeat. The comfortable enemy, the war within elite. Learn the difference in the texture of the actual rest, stern versus the comfortable enemy's version of the word. Real rest comes after the real work and feels different in the body. The comfortable enemy's version of rest before the study is complete, before the rep is done, before the actual earning. The comfortable enemy shows up mid-session when the burning is loudest and says now, and the now is always wrong. The comfortable enemy is the war with its favorite song. I used to let the comfortable enemy run the whole debate. The comfortable enemy is the war with its favorite trait. The comfortable enemy feels like rest, but run in 1,000 small ones. The small war is the alarm and the 5 more minutes lost. The small war is the second helping and the unaccounted cost of the incremental ease that adds up to the large defeat. The small wars are the 1,000 daily tests that I meet before the visible moment of the big one that the story tells. The big victory lives in the small wars compound cells. When the morning compounds into the week, winning the small wars is the war within's whole technique. I used to save the discipline for the big moments only. Winning the small wars is how the war within gets lonely. Winning the small wars, the alarm, the second rep the door. Winning the small wars, the daily, ordinary score of the tiny decisions that nobody sees or notes. Winning the small wars is the war within's real votes cast every morning, every session. Win the small wars. That's the war within's profession. The small war is the phone before the session starts. The small war is the shortcut through the hardest parts of the task. The small war is the conversation cut before it's done. The small war is the door almost shut on the standard. The small war runs everywhere all day. Winning the small wars is how the big war finds its way to the result that only looks like one large moment won. Winning the small wars, that's how the war within is done. I used to save the discipline for the big moments only. Winning the small wars is how the war within gets lonely. Winning the small wars, the alarm, the second rep the door. Winning the small wars, the daily, ordinary score of the tiny decisions that nobody sees or notes. Winning the small wars is the war within's real votes cast every morning, every session. Winning the small wars, that's the war within's profession. Winning small wars every day. That's some mornings I'm tired of the war. I show up anyway. Some mornings the war within has been running long enough that the tiredness isn't physical, it's the accumulated stuff of years of the same internal argument in the same room. Years of the same two versions reaching for the same outcome. The tiredness of the combat, not the tiredness of the words. Tired of fighting the same battle, tired of the lurk of the resistance in the same place every single time. Tired of fighting myself, that's the war within's climb. I used to think that tired fighting was a sign to stop the war. Tired of fighting myself, I show up tired. That's what for. Tired of fighting myself, and I show up anyway. Tired of fighting myself, that's just another day. It's not the war within, tired is not the signal to retreat. Tired of fighting myself, I still complete the session, still hold the line. Tired of fighting myself, still mine. The tide of fighting isn't weakness, it's the honest wear of the long game discipline. discipline maintained through every layer of the difficult without a resolution of the war. The war doesn't resolve, the tide of fighting is the floor of the commitment, the bottom of the barrel where the choice is made in its most honest form. Without the fire and the voice of the motivated, just the committed and the worn. Tired of fighting myself, still show up every war. I used to think the tide of fighting was a sign to stop the war. Tired of fighting myself, I show up tired, that's what for. Tired of fighting myself, and I show up anyway. Tired of fighting myself, and that's just another day. Inside the war within, tired is not the signal to retreat. Tired of fighting myself, I still complete the session, still hold the line. Tired of fighting myself, still mine. The war within would end at some sufficient level. Used to think the discipline would eventually bevel itself into the permanent and require no more choosing. Used to think the war within would stop its constant using of the morning and the session and the stand at a battlefield. Used to think a certain version of myself would be the sealed final answer to the question. Found out that's not true. The war within never ends. I just get better at it through. I used to want the war within to settle into permanent peace. The war within never ends. I just get better at the least. The war within never ends. I just get better at the fight. The war within never ends. I show up every night and morning with more skill than the morning before. The war within never ends. That's the ongoing score. Better at it, sharper at it. The war within never ends. I'm harder at it. Year 5 is better than year 1 in navigating the war. Year 10 is better than year 5 of reading what it's for. Every season of the war within builds the navigation skill, but the better recognition of the Pacific pill. The war within is attack that specific pressure point. Every year of fighting builds the knowledge of the joint between the temptation and the discipline in real time. The war within never ends. I just get better at the climb. I used to want the war within to settle into permanent peace. The war within never ends. I just get better at the least. The war within never ends. I just get better at the fight. The war within never ends. I show up every night and morning with more skill than the morning before. The war within never ends. That's the ongoing score. Better at it, sharper at it. The war within never ends. I'm harder at it. War within never ends. I get better at it. Stars looking for the external obstacle. Found the resistance lives inside. the resistance. Blame the schedule, blame the circumstance, blame the distance between myself and the right conditions for the work. Then I ran out of external things to blame, and the murk didn't show the resistance exactly where it lives. In the same place as the discipline, in the same premise as the building, and the choosing inside the same address. The resistance is internal, that's the war to confess. I used to look outside for the thing that stopped the work from running. The resistance is internal, that's the war within's cunning. The resistance is internal, nothing outside has this power. The resistance is internal, lives in the same hour as the discipline, in the same body, in the same head. The resistance is internal, that's where the war is led, from inside the territory. The resistance is internal, that's the story. Every external obstacle is real but navigable. Every internal resistance is the war that's unmanageable. By blaming the external can be solved, but the internal resistance is the war that has to be resolved. Through the showing up regardless, through the action past the feeling, through the recognition that the resistance has no ceiling, that the external can provide. It builds desires I allow. The resistance is internal, the war within. Right now, I used to look outside for the thing that stopped the work from running. The resistance is internal, that's the war within's cunning. The resistance is internal, nothing outside has this power. The resistance is internal, lives in the same hour as the discipline, in the same body, in the same earth. The resistance is internal, that's where the war is led, from inside the territory. The resistance is internal, that's the story. Resistance is internal, what is inside. The most dangerous critic sounds exactly like me. The saboteur is fluent in my specific dialect, knows the exact phrasing that will make the doubt connect, knows which insecurity to target on which day, knows the history, knows the failures, knows exactly what to say to make the quitting sound like wisdom, sound like earn, knows the language of the self-protection I have learned, and uses every word of it against the thing I'm building now. The saboteur has my voice, that's the war, and that's the how. I used to think the voice was mine because it spoke my language clean. The saboteur has my voice, learning to read what the words mean. The saboteur has my voice, sounds like reason, sounds like care. The saboteur has my voice, sounds like wisdom, sounds like fair. But the saboteur is building the case for staying still. The saboteur has my voice, I recognize it now. I will not follow where it leads. The saboteur has my voice, but I run the seats. But I run the seats. Learn to hear the signature beneath the reasonable tone. The saboteur's goal is always the same, always alone, always poised toward the exit, always finds the reason to reduce the standard or the session or the trying from the use of the energy today. Always wants to wait for better weather, learn to name it in real time, learn to tether myself to the recognition that the voice is not the truth. The saboteur has my voice, but I have the proof. I used to think the voice was mine because it spoke my language clean. The saboteur has my voice, learning to read what the version that wants to quit is not stupid, it has good reasons. I don't follow them. The version that wants to quit has done the math correctly. It knows the cost, it knows the fatigue, it reads the body directly. It knows how long this has been running, knows the distance to the end, knows the argument for stopping, and the argument can bend the logic of the rational into its favorite clean. The version that wants to quit is not irrational or mean, it's just optimizing for the immediate and the near. The version that wants to quit has good reasons, that's what's clear. I used to fight the quitting version like it had no right to speak. The version that wants to quit has good reasons, just a different wake. The version that wants to quit has good reasons, I hear them. The version that wants to quit has good reasons, I fear them. Enough to know they're real, not enough to follow where they go. The version that wants to quit has good reasons, even so I don't follow, I don't stop. The version that wants to quit has good reasons, not the top. Acknowledge every reason that the quitting version brings. Don't dismiss the fatigue, don't pretend the discomfort stings less than it does. Acknowledge it, give it the honest read, then choose the longer accounting that the discipline in the creed requires. The version that wants to quit is looking at the weak. The version that keeps going is looking at the streak of years. Both versions have their math and both versions are real. The version that wants to quit has good reasons, not the deal. To fight the quitting version like it had no right to speak. The version that wants to quit has good reasons, just a different wake. The version that wants to quit has good reasons, I hear them. The version that wants to quit has good reasons, I fear them. Enough to know they're real, not enough to follow where they go. The version that wants to quit has good reasons, even so I don't follow, I don't stop. The version that wants to quit has good reasons, not the top. Good reasons, hard, not followed. Keep going. There's a part that wants to burn everything I've built. I know it well. Shows up when the pressure peaks and the building's gotten heavy. Shows up when the discipline has run the tank past empty, and the accumulated weight of all the choosing and the holding reaches a point where the part that wants the burning and the folding is the loudest it has ever been. It makes the case for fire, for the clean slate of the nothing after burning the entire structure to the ground and starting over without the data. The built the part that wants to burn it down. I know the guilt. I used to feel the part that wants to burn it as a flaw in the design. The part that wants to burn it down is the war within my life. The part that wants to burn it down is real, and I hear it. The part that wants to burn it down, I've learned to feel it without obeying it, to let it have the room to speak. The part that wants to burn it down comes loudest when I'm something needs to change. The impulse is a subliminal cry for rest, dressed up in the language of the clean slate. The actual signal is the specific thing that's out of place, not the whole structure, just a piece that needs a renovation. Hear the burn and read the nuance of the actual indication. Beneath the impulse rest, when the rest is what it's asking for. The part that wants to burn it down, I hold the floor. I used to fear the part that wants to burn it as a flaw in the design. Part that wants to burn it down is the war within my life. The part that wants to burn it down is real, and I hear it. The part that wants to burn it down, I've learned to feel it without obeying it, to let it have the room to speak. The part that wants to burn it down comes loudest when I'm weak. Hear it, negate, hold the line. The part that wants to burn it down, the build is mine. The build is mine. Part that wants to burn, I hold the line. There's a part of me that always knows better. The war is following it. There's a part of me that knows the answer before the excuse. There's a part that sees through everything the other parts produces. Justification for the easier path. Sees through the tired, sees through the not today, sees through every reason hired to make the quit and feel like wisdom, and the stay and feel like more than the body can support. Right now there's a part at the core that simply and without negotiation knows. The part of me that knows better, that's the war within's rose. I used to override the part that knows better with the louder ones. The part of me that knows better is the war within sons. The part of me that knows better never lies, never bends. The part of me that knows better never makes excuses, never ends. The session early for the wrong reason always points to through. The part of me that knows better is the war within's true. North, that's the anchor. The part of me that knows better, that's my answer. The war within gets quieter when I follow the part that knows. Gets cleaner, gets more direct, gets easier when it goes to that voice first instead of the negotiating loudest version. The part that knows better runs at a quieter immersion than the rest of them. Doesn't shout, doesn't make the case, just sits there at the center knowing, holding its place, and waits for me to choose it over the argument around it. The part of me that knows better, the war within's I used to override the part that knows better with the louder ones. The part of me that knows better is the war within sons. The part of me that knows better never lies, never bends. The part of me that knows better never makes excuses, never ends. The session early for the wrong reason always points to through. The part of me that knows better is the war within's true. North, that's the anchor. The part of me that knows better, that's my answer. Knows better, follow it Both versions claim to be the real version of this man's depiction. Both have the same name, both know the same history, both have access to the same body, the same mystery of the why behind the building and the code that runs beneath in the quiet. But only one of them shows up, only one has teeth in the action rather than the claiming only one to explore. The one that shows up is the real one that settles the score. I used to argue about identity in theory and in thought. The one that shows up is the real one. The action's what is sought. The one that shows up is the real one. Theory doesn't count. The one that shows up is the real one. That's the full amount. The identity debate settled by the doing and the there. The one that shows up is the real one. That's the only declaration that matters in the war within. The one that shows up is the real one. That's how I win. Every morning the war within is asking which one's real. Every morning the answer isn't spoken in a feel or a declaration or a statement of intent. The answer is the action, is the actually went to the session, is the actually held the standard through. The answer is the showing up in everything it took to do. The theory of the identity means nothing to the floor. The one that shows up is the real one, nothing more. I used to argue about identity in theory and in thought. The one that shows up is the real one. The action's what is sought. The one that shows up is the real one. Theory doesn't count. The one that shows up is the real one. That's the full amount of the identity debate settled by the doing and the there. The one that shows up is the real one. That's the only declaration that matters in the war within. The one that shows up is the real one. That's how I win. The war within's first battle is always the morning. Win the morning. The morning is where the war within holds its opening session. The morning is the first vote on the identity. The question of which version runs the day is answered in the first 5 minutes of the choice before the thirst for the routine is quenched. Or let's slide into the easy. The morning decides the man before the day can breathe or be anything other than what the morning's first decision made it. The war within's most critical, and the morning's where I rate it. I used to let the morning vote without a predetermined frame. The morning decides the man. I show up before the morning claims. The morning decides the man before the day begins. The morning is the war within's first of the daily wins. The law says morning is the battle that decides the art. The morning decides the man. I win it in the dark. Before the war within wakes up, the morning decides the man. I fill the cup. Structure the morning so the war within loses before it starts. Lay the clothes out the night before, remove the false starts of the choosing and the deliberating. From the half awake, reduce the decision to the putting on in the intake of the morning that was already built before the war arrived. The morning decides the man, and the man who has survived. This morning is the one who made it harder to say no. The morning decides the man. That's the war within show. I used to let the morning vote without a predetermined frame. The morning decides the man. I show up before the morning available. I know which one I am. When the war within gets loudest and the two sides close the space between each other in the narrow corridor of the race against the clock and the fatigue and the argument for stop, when the two versions are standing at the top of the escalating tension of the morning's first decision. I know which one I am before the moment needs precision of the declaration, know it in the choosing that precedes. I know which one I am and that identity leads. I used to wonder which side I was really on inside. I know which one I am, and the knowing is the guide. I know which one I am when the war within is loud. I know which one I am when both sides roar a crowd inside the same head. I know the answer before the ask. I know which one I am. That's the only task that matters in the war. I know which one I am. I've been this one before. The knowing is the anchor when the argument is running. The knowing preempts the needing to decide by cunning. Through the logic of the morning, I already know the side I stand on in the war within before the war's applied to the specific situation of the day, specific test. I know which one I am, the one that doesn't rest until the work is done, the one that shows regardless. I know which one I am, and the war within is hardest. I used to wonder which side I was really on inside. I know which one I am, and the knowing is the guide. I know which one I am when the war within is loud. I know which one I am when both sides draw a crowd inside the same head. I know the answer before the ask. I know which one I am. That's the only task that matters in the war. I know which one I am. I've been this one before. Volume is an authority. The loudest voice in my head is usually in the war within is usually the fear, amplified by tiredness and the urgency of here and now and immediate and everything that's heavy at this moment. The loudest voice is the one most reactive and the most potent at the surface. Loudest in the session when the pressure peaks. Loudest in the morning when the discipline still seeks. If footing loudest is just loudest, not the wise. The loudest voice isn't the wisest. That's the war within's prize. I used to follow the loudest voice because it felt most real. The loudest voice isn't the wisest. That's the war within reveal. The loudest voice isn't the wisest in the war within. The loudest voice is fear and fatigue. virgin to the quietest signal underneath the noise. The one that doesn't use the most dramatic voice. The one that doesn't have the urgency beyond the actual fact. The quiet voice in the war within that keeps the track toward the direction that the decade filter recommends. The loudest voice isn't the wisest, that's where wisdom ends. I used to follow the loudest voice because it felt most real. The loudest voice isn't the wisest, that's the war within reveal. The loudest voice isn't the wisest in the war within. The loudest voice is fear and fatigue, dressed in disciplined skin, making the quitting sound like the most intelligent rave. The loudest voice isn't the wisest, the quiet one I need runs deeper, runs truer. The loudest voice isn't the wisest, the quiet one gets through here. Loudest voice isn't wisest. Follow the quiet. The loudest argument in any room is the one I'm having with myself. The argument I have with myself runs before the session starts, runs through the reasoning of both the competing parts. One side lists the reasons that today is the day to go. One side lists the reasons that today the answer should be no. Both sides know the same history, same body, same fatigue. Both sides know the same excuses and the same league of counter arguments. The argument I have with myself is the war within in real time, off the shelf. I used to let the argument run until the weaker side won. The argument I have with myself, the disciplined side is done. The argument I have with myself ends the same way now. The argument I have with myself, the discipline takes the vow to show up anyway before the argument concludes. The argument I have with myself, the action preempts the mood. Move before the argument ends. The argument I have with myself, action words. Found the argument is stalling, not deciding in the end. Found the longer that the argument runs, the more it tends to favor the side that wants to stay, favor the side of the way. Found the best move is to move before the argument gets straight to the verdict. Interrupt the argument with the body, show up before the conclusion, and the argument probably in the middle of the best case for the stay in mid-sentence. The argument I have with myself ends with the attendance. I used to let the argument run until the weaker side won. The argument I have with myself, the disciplined side is done. The argument I have with myself ends the same way now. The argument I have with myself, the fight doesn't end. Making peace with the fight is the whole game. Used to think the war within was something I would win completely. Used to think the discipline would install itself discreetly, permanently, and without the daily cost of the renewal. Used to think the fight would end and I just lived the duel. No longer thought the destination was a place of no resistance. Thought the war within would stop at some sufficient distance of the growth. Found out the war within is the condition. Making peace with the fight, that's the whole position. I used to want the war within to end before I could feel settled. Making peace with the fight is how the war within gets metal. Making peace with the fight means accepting it's the daily. Making peace with the fight means the war within isn't failure. It's the proof that the building is still happening, still live. Making peace with the fight means the war within I give room to exist without fearing it. Making peace with the fight, that's the clearing it. The fight every morning means I'm still someone we're fighting for. The resistance means the growth is still reaching for a door beyond the current floor. The war within is not the enemy, it's the evidence that the building has an energy still running underneath, still pulling toward the more. Making peace with the fight means walking through the war without expecting it to end, just navigating through. Making peace with the fight, that's the war within's true. I used to want the war within to end before I could feel settled. Making peace with the fight is how the war within gets metal. Making peace with the fight means accepting it's the daily. Making peace with the fight means the war within isn't failure. It's the proof that the building is still happening, still live. Making peace with the fight means the war within I give room to exist without fearing it. Making peace with the fight, that's the clearing it. Making peace with the fight, daily still here. Fight. Sing territory to armies, I am both of them. Civil war is the most expensive kind, because the damage done is done to the same infrastructure, to the bandage and the wound in the same body. Every battle lost against the better version is a battle at the cost of the same territory both sides are fighting for. The me that wants the growth and the me that wants the floor of comfort, both of them are operating on the same ground. Civil war inside the one skin, that's the war I found. I used to let the civil war run without a declared side. Civil war inside, I know which army has to run. Civil war, same territory, two directions. Civil war, the discipline and the appetite's intersection in the same body. comfort side with all its warnings and its arguments and its coalition of the reasonable. The disciplined army's quiet has the unseasonable habit of showing up even when its forces are depleted, even when the comfort army's case feels undefeated. The disciplined army never quits the war entirely. Civil war inside the discipline fires Riley. I used to let the Civil War run without a declared side. Civil war inside, I know which army has to run. Civil war, same territory, two directions. Civil war, the discipline and the appetite's intersection. In the same body, running to competing operating codes. Civil war, I choose my side.